Hello, welcome back to another of these Animal Crossing videos. Today I am doing another requested video, which is the Mario girls, and that includes Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, and Pauline. So it's gonna be 4 girls in total. We are starting off with Peach, and obviously her dress is pink and poofy like any other princess. So for her, I'm actually gonna use the long sleeve dress because 1, it goes down all the way to the bottom unlike the other ones, and 2, she wears gloves. So with this one being long sleeved, it helps me kind of simulate the gloves a little bit. So I did slow down the time that I used to edit. By that meaning like the speed in which I edit. Usually I narrate it down to the fastest one, but then I realized that that was a little bit too fast for you guys, so I slowed down a bit. I still sped it up because if I kept this up like how I edit or like how I actually work while I'm doing this, how I'm actually drawing, it would have been so slow. This video was about an hour and 20 minutes before I cut it down and shrunk it down and sped it up a bit. So yeah, it's probably gonna end up being like a 20-minute video when I'm done editing all this, and then yeah, so I cut back an hour. I just kept the 20 minutes, so that's a lot. So yeah. So for Peach, she has kind of like the Cinderella dress effect, like with the little poofs on the side, but for hers, obviously she is more of a cartoon. Not the Cinderella is not a cartoon, but she is more animated, I guess. So I went with that animation version. There's 2 versions of her. Obviously there's like the old one, which is like literally like a drawing, 2-dimensional, and then there's like a 3-dimensional model. I went with the 2-dimensional one. So I went ahead and did that to this dress, and I think she turns out pretty cute, but I gotta say my favorite out of the 4 is probably Daisy, just because Daisy's my favorite. Other than Pauline, obviously. If I had to pick one of the 4, I think I would pick Pauline, but out of the dresses that I made, I think Daisy is my favorite. But anyway, for Peach, she just has this little gemstone in the middle of her dress. I went ahead and recreated that with some yellow on the outlining to represent the gold, and then obviously the blue gem in the middle, and then she has kind of like this pattern going down her dress. There's a dog barking outside. I hope you guys can pick up on that. If you can, I guess I'm sorry. Again, this microphone picks up everything. You can be whispering in like 2 rooms back and I would be able to hear it. It's crazy. But yeah, so she has this pattern going down at the bottom, which I went ahead and created, and I think it looks pretty okay. Then here what I'm trying to create is that kind of look to where like the dress is kind of ruffled. You know, when you wear a dress, it doesn't stay like stiff. So I'm kind of trying to create that. So I put these lines down the dress, which I end up cutting back a little bit because they were too long and it just ended up messing with how the dress looked. So here you have it here. And obviously I'm not gonna keep it this color. The way that I like to do it, I like to just outline to get through basically what I'm imagining in my head. I like to put it on paper or on the computer in this essence. So I like to put it down first before I forget, and then I'll worry about the color later. So as you can see, I'm just outlining in gray for now. I'm outlining pretty much everything: the gemstone, the poofs on the side, and the designs of where the dress should be ruffled from where. And for the sleeves, again, she wears gloves, so this is the whole reason why I decided to go with the long sleeve dress. So I am gonna outline the sleeve at the top, which I already did, and for the glove, obviously on the sleeves I have a little bit of trouble just because I'm trying to figure out where the spot is to mark, I guess. So she has kind of like this little V shape going on like in front, and the glove on the front side of her glove, so there's kind of like a V-shaped angle. So I'm go ahead and trying to recreate that here, and there you go. Now we have the little V shape. I end up going back and just putting it both in the back and in the front. That way it's super easy when you copy and paste. It's on both sides. You don't have to worry about it not being on the right angle. So here I am just doing the skin color in between there. And that's pretty much it for Peach. Obviously I copied and pasted the whole front to the back like I always do, and then just deleted the front front part that shouldn't be on the back. In this case, it's the gemstone. Everything else can stay pretty much the same. And for the colors, this was the problem, I guess, for me going way too fast, especially on the colors. So I tried my best to go back. I kept forgetting, so I'm just like in the zone, going and changing colors and stuff. So I keep forgetting. So I do try, whenever I remember, I try coming back and just pause a couple seconds so you guys get time to see the colors. But that's the dress, and here is the code. Again, codes are also in the description. We are moving on to number 2, which is Daisy. And this yellow is probably gonna blind you in the beginning. I feel like it did. The neon yellow and the neon green are extremely painful to look at. But anyway, so this dress already, just by the design, reminds me a lot of Jane from Tarzan. So my mind kind of wanted to get distracted and just start, designing Tarzan or Jane from Tarzan, but nope. This is gonna be Peach, and I had a little bit of a hard time just trying to decide which yellow to go with. It's always hard trying to get the right shade. For instance, I always show them to my boyfriend, and my boyfriend always ends up correcting me towards the end, depending on what colors he thinks is correct. I think for the Frozen one, for example, like the Anna one, I had the cape more on the pink side, and for me it looked fine, but then when I showed it to him, he's like, no, it's pink. Her cape is a little bit of darker, like a darkerish purple, like maroon type. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I went back and I changed it. Yeah, again, it's just the matter of how you perceive things, I guess. What looks right to you. You can always mess around with the colors yourself as well if you don't like the colors that I chose. But anyway, I am running out of space for the designs, like the slots of the designs on the game. So I have a question for you guys. What would happen if I do run out of spots and I start overriding them? Will they be removed from the gallery essentially? Like, would they be removed from you guys being able to download them? Or would they be override? Or I'm not sure what would happen to my designs at that point. If you guys know or have tried it, please let me know, because I'm running out of space, so I'm trying to figure out what to do. Or if you guys will be fine without me having them uploaded. At this point, I'm uploading everything. I guess I will let you guys know once I do reach that point. I can still fit a couple dresses on there, but I'm getting towards the bottom, so I was concerned. I don't know what would happen then. If they would be, or like maybe, for example, once I upload them for you guys to download, would they stay there, and then I can keep drawing more and then just keep adding more. Again, I don't know what would happen, so I'm kind of worried about that, but it's a good thing that I have these tutorials, I guess, the way you can recreate them yourself in case they do get deleted eventually. So with that being said, let me know what you guys know about that, or if you guys know anything about that, what would happen to the designs that are already uploaded once I run out of space. Anyway, going back to Daisy, she is very similar to Peach. She has the same design at the bottom, except that she has it double layered, so she has 2 layered bottom and the top one, and then she has the same poof as Cinderella. Instead of the gem on her chest though, she has a flower. So I went ahead and tried my best to create a flower, and I was actually pretty impressed. I wasn't sure it was gonna come out fine, but I feel like it came out pretty good. Obviously right now it looks kind of a mess because it is, but I go back and just try to delete what shouldn't be there and extend what should be there. So I find this a little bit hard just to design. However it works, it's great. It's just sometimes it looks really good while it's pixelated, but then you go on the design and it doesn't look good because the actual design smooths everything out so it doesn't keep it pixelated. So it's a little bit harder sometimes to work around that, but sometimes it comes out really good. But anyway, the classic copy and paste to the back, delete the thing that shouldn't be there. In this case, it's the flower. For the sleeves, she also wears gloves, however, they're really short. So I'm just gonna draw in the little cuff here at the sleeve, and then the rest of the arm should be skin colored. So there's that, and then I just outlined the cuff with white because she actually has that, copy and paste, and we're completed with Daisy. And then the next one, the third one, okay, so before I get ahead of myself, here is the code, also in the description. The third one is Rosalina. So she's actually the one that I struggled the most with, but again, I think it's because she's basically all one color. So she reminds me a lot of Elsa, and the way that her dress is like off the shoulder type of thing, and then also the colors. So I was essentially making Elsa again, but obviously it's a little bit different. Hers is a little bit simpler than Elsa. She's not blinged out with capes or anything like that. So as for the color, I try getting as close as possible. Again, it's kind of hard, and for her, she's actually has a long sleeve, and it's kind of like a belled long sleeve, which we don't have a bell sleeve. So I ended, like Elsa again, I ended up going with this dress because over the shoulder was not gonna look good at the other dresses, and she doesn't have the puffy sleeves even though she has the belled sleeves. Yeah, it's hard. This is the closest thing I could find. So again, she has this design at the bottom of the dress where it kind of like splits, and then it's like outlined, like the trim, it's trimmed and outlined at the bottom. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but you just have to watch and see. So here again, the color is not correct. I'm just going with gray just because I'm trying to get the design across, and I feel like with the gray, since it's such a contrasting color, you can tell right away, like you can really see it defined. And then now I worry about getting the right color, which is a very, very light blue, almost white. So that's what I end up going with. And I'm still messing around with the colors. I'm trying to take my time with the colors so you guys have time to pause the video and are able to get the color exactly the same. For the star, I initially went with this star that's already pre-made for you, but it's too small and I did not like it. And then I tested the second one, which is the medium one, which was way too big, as you can see here. However, I just left it as a reference right now in case I needed to create a bigger star, which I do. And I do apologize in advance because here I'm trying to create the neckline, and I pretty much create it and then I delete the whole thing because I don't like it. So just a fair warning, I keep some of it, but for the most part I delete it. Just a fair warning. If you're following along with the video, I do go back and delete this right away because I did not like it. So here I am messing with the star again. I decided it needs to be a lot bigger because you can barely see what that is. It's tiny. So I'd make it a little bit bigger. The center of the star is yellow. It has like a little yellow stone on it. So, and the star is gray. So with the gray, I'm now outlining this yellow gem because obviously that has to be outlining to define it. And I just started winging it with the star. I kind of try following the bottom one as an outline, and it works pretty well. So at the same time, I ended up creating, I think it might essentially be the same size. Now, mine's actually a bit smaller. So I don't know how I did that, but it works. So I'm glad that it did. Again, like with the flower, I'm never sure if it's gonna work or not. So I kind of just wing it and it ends up working, which is great. So here I am just creating the skin color part of her neck area, and again I do go back and delete all of this, so I'm sorry. I think I do go back, I delete the actual dress part, but I keep the skin color, and you guys will see here I am actually correcting the color. I go ahead and outline it in white, which I think it looks okay. However, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more slanted, so here I am going back and creating that again. I feel like I was going upwards the first time. Now I have to move and do it downwards since the sleeves kind of hang a little bit more at an angle downwards and upwards, if that makes any sense. So instead of working upwards, I'm doing it downwards, and I feel like it just makes the dress a whole lot better as soon as I did that. It just wasn't looking right the first time. So I go back and I just fill in the whole thing in white. Obviously it's not gonna stay white, it's just, again, it's hard to tell when it's just one color where the definition is, if it's correct or not. So here I am just filling in the part that has to be blue and just leaving the white as an outline, which is what I initially wanted. And for the sleeves, oh my god, did I struggle with the sleeves so much. It was hard to find the sleeve or the angle in which the sleeves should be going down, so I spent quite a bit of time here. And honestly, there's no good way to explain it. The way that I just try to do it is try to find the beginning, like at the front, try to find the spot in which lines up with your neck area, and then from there just kind of mess with it until you get it right. Again, so it's pretty self-explanatory. It sounds pretty self-explanatory. I don't know what else to say about it. There's no right way to do it. You just have to mess with it until you get it right. I tried so much or so many times to get some skin color in here and then get the right angle. At the end, I think I do end up just covering it all, and then eventually there's no skin showing through on the sleeve, but I think it looks for the best because I was looking at a picture of her and her sleeves actually like go a little bit, they basically cover her shoulders, but it's showing a little bit of her like inner neck shoulder area. I don't even know, like the area between your actual shoulder and your neck, that's the area that it shows, but her actual shoulders are covered. So I do go back and I do that like I said, and that's pretty much what ends up working for me. So for the back, this is probably one of the only dresses where you don't copy and paste like I usually do. I actually took the time to design this part, so I just lined up to where the sleeve ends and where it begins at the sleeves. Obviously I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but I don't know why it doesn't let you use the, I don't know. This is the completed dress, and this is what it looks like, and here is the code, and again also in the description. But now we're gonna be moving on to the fourth and final lady, which is Pauline. For her, I guess it was super simple because it's not really anything that I would say it's like iconic. I mean, obviously she's iconic, but like there's nothing, no symbols, nothing on the dress that makes it, you know, oh my god, it's Pauline, like super recognizable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. She doesn't have any type of logo or anything like that. For her, it's just a red dress, a super fancy red dress, I may say. And the thing is, I couldn't find any pictures of the back of her dress, but for the longest time in my head it was a halter back dress, so that's what I ended up going with. I even looked at cosplayers and things like that, but I wasn't able to find an actual picture of the back of the dress, so I don't know if it's just like spaghetti straps, but in my head it's a halter top dress, so that's what I ended up going with. So I switched between two dresses for her, trying to see which one would be better. I used this one because it's the longer version of the dress that we have. It's a little sundress with no sleeves. Here I am just adjusting the color that I am outlining with. She has kind of like the shape, the heart shaped, what would you say, heart shape corset type of thing. So that's what I end up going with, or neck area, I guess is what I should say. I don't know, when I do voiceovers, I feel like I forget every single word that I've ever learned, ever. So yeah, sorry about that. But for the back, I decided to go with the halter back. So I'm just gonna go and trace the little spaghetti straps to go around the shoulder like that, around the neck like that, and then just trace in the color in the back as well. So yeah, again, pretty simple dress. I end up just covering the back with the skin color, and there you go. We have a halter top dress. However, I feel like it needed more detail to make it a little bit more Pauline, so I add a little bit more detail. And like I said, I went between two dresses, so I changed to this one, which is like the rounded one, and I just add a line through the bottom and add some, I guess, ruffles at the bottom to kind of simulate like her, like how she's dancing, because it kind of goes outwards, the dress, it kind of goes outwards, and of course it has little ruffles of where she's wearing it, like the way the dress moves. But I don't like it, so I go back to this one, but I leave the design. And then I added this little like shadows like under the boob area, but again, I didn't like it, so I decided to just close it up because she does have kind of like this design on the boobs, I guess, like it kind of hugs the boobs in that way, and she has, you know, like the little ruffles there as well. But there is Pauline. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I'm working on other requested videos, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.